My name's Andrew Galecki. This is my bar, Sister Hen. It's in Pensacola, Florida. It's in a small little neighborhood. And we've been open for coming up on 2 years now. And I've been here since the beginning, making cocktails and doing our thing in this little tiny basement. It's dimly lit. We only hold 20 people. And we stay very, very busy, turning over seats and taking care of as many people as we can while keeping like an intimate kind of setting. And yeah, excited to show you some cocktails today. I don't know what else you want to say. You want to talk about Severance? So we've been partnering with Crew to showcase some of their products, how they work into our flow and how they could possibly work for y'all. And we're really excited about it. They make our job easier. And yeah, we're excited to kind of talk about how they do stuff like differently. They're made by bartenders. And when you have a product made by somebody who did the job that you're doing, it shows, and it's the little things about Crew that I'm excited to showcase today. I've been bartending for almost 10 years now. I started bartending at TGI Fridays, just trying to like work my way up into where I'm at now, the kind of the craft cocktail scene. And I got really lucky. I live in a very small town. I had a lot of really great bartenders that worked here and that trained me, and my education never really stopped. It still hasn't. And it's a great way to kind of give an outlet to like my creativity while doing something. Standing up is hard for 10-hour shifts, but it's better in my opinion than sitting down. And it's kind of why I'm still doing it. Maybe this is the middle of the road for me. Maybe it's toward the end, I don't know, but I still love it. So I'm still cranking out cocktails till my bones give out. So we're gonna run through a couple of our cocktails at the Sister Hen. We're gonna showcase kind of how the Crew Barware plays into our lineup, and hopefully make a few drinks, or get a few good drinks along the way. So yeah, let's do that. So this drink's called the Banh Mi Teeny. It's based off of a banh mi sandwich. It's something that we were eating a lot of, and we decided, how do we make this into a drink? So it uses cucumber balsamic vinegar that we get locally here in Pensacola, some vodka, cilantro, cucumber, a little dry vermouth. Crew's muddler uses a different type of teeth. It's more akin to your molars. When you're trying to chew on something, chew lettuce, chew a salad, anything like that, you're not using your incisors. You're not trying to shred it. You're not eating you're ripping apart a piece of steak. You're really just trying to get the oils or the juice. You're trying to like get a subtle extraction of flavor out of it. And they did a really great job with the end of it. It's definitely more akin to, like I said, your molars more so than your incisors, and you don't see that a lot, and it's much appreciated. Using a fine mesh strainer like this is going to get all those bits of cucumber and cilantro out of the drink. That way they're not clogging up the straw. They're not otherwise just kind of making a more of an unpleasant mouthfeel. And we pickle these carrots in-house using a very proprietary pickling liquid that we got off Google. Here we go, it's a Banh Mi Teeny. It's a banh mi in a glass. The Crew mixing glass holds an ungodly amount of old fashions, and it's also ergonomic, which is like really, really important to have the amount of space that I need to crank out 4 or 5 old fashions at a time. Along with the mixing tin, I can crank out 2 to 4 cocktails depending on the spec. And this cocktail is the Toronto, another cocktail that's kind of like a modern classic. It's kind of a riff on an old fashioned. Uses Amaro. Yeah, which one's the one I need? This one. Uses Amaro rye whiskey. any kind of sugar. Well, we use maple syrup in ours, which is Canadian. That's kind of like our ode to the name Toronto. And we batch the entire cocktail in our Crew bottle. So instead of grabbing 3 to 4 ingredients, we can grab one. We can spend less time. We can spend less time grabbing bottles, more time actually getting the proper dilution, the ice the way we want it to be, making it look like a beautiful cocktail for the guests. And with these Crew pitchers, we can honestly, I could fit, let's see, probably close to 8 Torontos. I definitely can fit 10 different old fashions in here. I've done it before, so. Big party bus shows up and a whole group of guys come and they're like, hey, we want 10 old fashions. This is what I reach for every time. Building around, knocking out that many drinks at once gets their drinks to them faster. And I'm able to do that with these tools. So knowing when to use the right tool in the right situation is important. A lot of stuff that you see bartenders do is we're not just like making that stuff up. Using a fine mesh strainer along with a Hawthorne strainer, you're shaking a drink that has mint in it, say something like a mojito. That drink is gonna have muddled mint in it, and when you strain it, you might, but you usually more times than not don't want those chunks of things in a drink. It kind of takes away from the drink in a lot of ways, but you need to know when to do that. So anytime you're doing something like a sour or anything served up, you're gonna want to double strain it using that fine mesh strainer. And the reason that you're capturing little ice chips, which lead to dilution, you're capturing bits of mint, bits of strawberry, whatever it is that you're doing in the cocktail. Not to say that you have to use the fine mesh strainer every single time. There's situations where you don't need to, but with stirred cocktails, for example, you don't need to reach for the fine mesh strainer. When you're making a sour or something served up, you do. And it doesn't only show skill of the bartender, but it also shows care, and it shows I'm trying to deliver the best cocktail possible every single time, no matter what it is. If I'm making a Long Island iced tea or if I'm making a Ramos gin fizz, the results should be the same. They should be executed perfectly, or at least, you can never be perfect, but you do your best to get there. We use the Crew bottle like we use for most of our infusions to take the lavender and infuse it into the honey with a little bit of water. We do that with a lot of our cocktails. The Bee's Knees is definitely one of our best-selling cocktails. If you put lavender and gin on a menu, it's always gonna slay. So we embrace that. We did not create the Bee's Knees. We didn't create the lavender Bee's Knees, but in this town, anyway, we did create the honeycomb ice cube. And, the only thing that we do differently to our Bee's Knees here is we just infuse lavender into it, dried lavender right into some East Hill honey, which is a local honey. And when the customer gets the ice cube and the drink, they're not really expecting it. So it just makes them really happy. And, it's a little thing. It's purely aesthetic. It doesn't change anything about the drink. Try to elevate a lot of the classic cocktails, just put a little tiny spin on them. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are ever in Pensacola, Florida, come check us out, Sister Hen. We'd love to make you a cocktail. In the meantime, you can visit crewsupplyco.com, pick up some of these tools, whether you're a home bartender, enthusiast, or if you own your own bar. We use them, we stand behind them 100%. And you can also check out Crew Supply Co.'s social media if you ever want any more tips, tricks, or to learn about more tools. We didn't cover everything in this video today, but there's tons of stuff out there. But yeah, in the meantime, cheers, thanks for stopping by.